Fuck. Welcome back to the Modernist Guide of popular media for popular media, whatever. That's the name. So here I am reviewing a fucking Limp Bizkit record. I'm already ending things badly for my stupid, cheap career as a talking head on the tube space, I guess. I don't know. Like, I can't stop. It's Limp Bizkit. Do you know who Limp Bizkit are? 1996. You know, that's how long they've been around, from Jacksonville, Florida, which by like the meme culture standards should explain everything about these guys. And fucking, you know, Fred Durst, Wes Borland, guitarist, he's kind of like, how does he even fit there? Yeah. Bass is Sam Rivers, who actually lays down some really good funk shit on this, which is crazy. John Otto, drummer, and then DJ Lethal, who is responsible for that infectious turntable shit and Jump Around. He was part of House of Pain before he went on to be part of Limp Bizkit. That's crazy to me. And here we are, 20 years after they've mattered at all. They tricked the world and took it over from 1999 to 2001. Created new metal basically, even though rap metal was a thing before, but it wasn't like this. It's always funny to me how we went from Rage Against the Machine to Limp Bizkit, and technically there's almost no in between. Again, Bizkit was in 90 fucking 4, which is around the time that Rage started to peak and have internal problems and break up, and 5, 6 years later. But they fell off the earth, right? They fell off the zeitgeist, fell off the planet. They were just gone around 2003. They had a record in '05 that no one gave a shit about. It seemed like they were pushing on some ideas that had kind of a Pink Floyd's The Wall prog approach, not necessarily appeal or execution, but they were clearly trying to do something more. And Wes Borland to this day, and I agree with him, says this was like so much self sabotage on Fred Durst's part. Durst just like I think hated himself, and you can see in interviews when they talk about like Woodstock '99 and all that like angry white boy culture of the late '90s, early 2000s. When Fred gets interviewed, he's like, "Yeah, I'm at fault. It fucking sucks. Now leave me alone." For like '05 to 2015. They came back in 2011 with Gold Cobra, and it was boring and not interesting. A lot of people thought they were self sabotage there too. Like Fred just never could get steam again, never care, because like his style or what he liked wasn't what anyone else wanted. And strangely enough, now here they fit. They're a much needed shot in the arm of the weird culture we're in, where people just want everyone to shut the fuck up and let's party our troubles away because we can't actually fix anything. So let's just don't talk about it and let's just do things. And so Lollapalooza 2021, the first, I think, big problematic gathering of people after COVID. A lot of people still worried that it was too soon, way too many people. And so they're headlining, and that's weird, and it seems out of nowhere. I don't know if there was a lot to going forward before that for them to like need to be there, or that's all they could get. I think that was the main joke. It's like, oh wow, no one still wants to do festivals yet because of COVID, so they had to tap Limp fucking Biscuit. And that researched their popularity. Everyone there knew the fucking songs, were singing along every single song. It was crazy. I accidentally watched the whole thing. I I only wanted to see it a little bit because the big deal was Fred Durst, who nobody had probably really seen in person in like 6, 7, 8 years, suddenly showing up like a retired 70s porn actor or a boomer dad who owns like four used car lots. That's what he looked like. And they went straight into it. Suddenly, like, they were more jokey and in on the joke and self reflective of their own bullshit. And the album, which they suddenly release after like a month of this huge high profile recognition again, or maybe 2 months. No matter how much of it is probably stuff they've refined from random demos of the past couple of years, but the album's called Still Sucks. Limp Bizkit still sucks. They're aware of it. The lead single Dad Vibes, I fuck with. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there. I fuck with Dad Vibes. It's funny. It's goofy. I always said before this that if you want to like just accept Limp Bizkit for what they are, you can really just see them as like almost a parody band. Especially like in 1999, look at all of their contemporaries. Korn, a little bit later, Linkin Park, Mudvayne, Devil Driver. Everyone was dressed up and angry and crazy, and so was Limp Bizkit, but you know, Fred Durst was still like a doopy frat bro, chill kind of shit, and it was easy to make fun of, but they seem to accept and understand that. And lyrically, it was almost too easy. Like this is a setup, right? You said that dumb, weird, goofy shit in your lyrics on purpose because you're just a goofball, right? Like, nope, this isn't like so bad it's good necessarily, as in like so on the nose that you have to wonder if it should be acceptable at all or embraced as good and not just like cheap trash. It's overloaded nachos, I guess. But here we are, and they're super self-aware. The whole record is fun and just ruckus bullshit, and it's enjoyable. It really is. I wouldn't ever put it on any list of good records. It's a weird thing. They are a parody band by design, if not by intent. That's the problem. Look at fucking West Borland. I think one of the best parts is they kind of call it out that Wes is this dude who loves like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and Godspeed Black Emperor, a fucking Aphex Twin, Ween. These bands are mentioned in like this goofy taking the piss mock interview at the end of Snacky Poo, which I hate that song title. That song's actually good except for the part where he says Snacky Poo. But as far as I can tell, it's just a song about not giving a shit and they don't care about likes or being popular or any kind of social media shit. They just want to make music and eat delicious snacks. But that's the real like double-edged sword for Limp Bizkit. That song, Snacky Poo. It's called Snacky Poo, and the song is good until the part where he says that, and it comes off like this is a joke, right? This is a joke, insane clown posse level dumbass song or fucking psycho stick, right? That's what this is. Even though it's mostly good. But while I would say it's a 4 out of 5 star dopey banger a la like early Gorillas, fuck, like man, it's so crazy to think that as they died off, Gorillas came in and fixed all those problems because it's still like alt rock funk with rap verses and all these guest rappers adding to this alt rock style and electronic feelings and stuff. That's kind of what Limp Bizkit did. They just did in such a dumb, abrasive, go fuck yourself, white people only club kind of way. And then Gorillaz fixed that. And now here we are, 19 years later, after Gorillaz has influenced the entire hip hop and electro pop world. And I really shouldn't say Kanye West on here, but like Kanye West and his efforts of fusing pop and alternative electronica together with hip hop, that, you know, those two artists, Kanye and Gorillaz, created black kids who grew up liking emo and alt rock as well. And so, you know, Juice World, Pop Smoke, Lil Uzi Vert, Trippy Red, they created Limp Bizkit esque music, even if Limp Bizkit wasn't the actual influence. That's fucking crazy. It's awful to think and funny at the same time, like Twilight Zone level funny, that Limp Bizkit was kind of ahead of their time, or they secretly created the trend that would be not really accessed until 15 years after people forgot their name. And that's what this whole record is. Out of Style starts off the record with just like, oh, it's been a long time, and it just slaps and it feels like a Limp Bizkit song perfectly, like they never left. It's super weird, and it's good though. It is. Dirty Rotten Biscuit is another one. It's good. It goes pretty hard, like old school. This record is full of Durst saying like, we never left the 90s. Let's not talk about the last 20 years. I'm not bringing that shit up. But also it's called Dirty Rotten Biscuit, and biscuit, Limp Biscuit is a phrase for your flaccid dick. So it, word choice again kind of keeps this from being like a higher ranked record. I can't, because the word choice is so emphatic and the lyricism is so important to these guys, because Durst is just a dopey white rapper, the like sixth best white rapper in history. I don't know. He's better than MGK, but you know, again, dad vibes. And then Turn It Up Bitch is also funky, a la Gorillaz bullshit, but also, you know, funk metal was a thing before. So it all derives from that. And Wes is like a certified genius, like his IQ level, and again, all the weird bands that he likes, he emphasizes that playing style, but through the dirty, grubby new metal riff filter, so people don't really recognize it as well. But if you like listen to any of those bands that are listed off of Stacky Poo, you can fucking tell, especially Wayne. I'm gonna say that, especially Wayne, but from a more shameless and upfront way than like a sneaky indie punk alternative way. That's just the thing. Wes Borland specifically as a guitarist is an artistic, creative, and intricate player, but he's so in your fucking face about it that you don't recognize what he's actually doing. If there's one song though to recognize where Limp Bizkit came from, and that maybe you can take them a little bit seriously, it's You Bring Out the Worst in Me. Durst at 50, I'm gonna assume again that this is recently recorded. It might be 5-6 years old, but even then he'd be like 45 or something, is screaming his fucking head off, and it's astounding to hear him this far in his age and the Limp Bizkit timeline, to be screaming like that. I like Faith, the cover, the George Michael cover. I like that a lot, where he screams and stuff, and I think that's a dopey, like crazy intense parody. But and then at the end there's a sample that basically reveals that You Bring Out the Worst in Me is about marriage troubles. That's kind of dark and sudden, and they have that. Pill Popper is like that. It literally starts with talking about the pharmaceutical company does not create cures, they create consumers. So they're like semi anti-capitalist, or partially just, you know, against the system. They're raging against the machine. You know, I'm gonna fucking say it. They're not actually comparable, but they are cousins. They are. I'm sorry. They fucking cover In Excess. Don't change. It's acoustic. It's way better than their Behind Blue Eyes cover. Uh, that's the thing. Wes Borland likes modern indie shit, and with rapping, Durst loves 80s anything pretty much, and 70s prog rock. It's these guys actually tried a little harder, but they don't want to. They just want to fuck around. This is the epitome album of fucking around, finding out. And you find out when you fuck around without being horrible about it, it's not so bad. Closing song Goodbye is reminiscent of Hootie and the Blowfish and Sugar Ray, which I didn't think I'd ever make a video mentioning either of those two in 2021. But again, Durst is stuck in the 90s because that's clearly where he's most comfortable. He wasn't ready for the huge shift change of whatever 2003 did to him, and then again in 2011. But now he's finally accepted he's an old fuck. He's just a fogey that wants to, be dumb again. And here he is. And it works better than it should. And the record is fun. Like, please go into this thinking this is like a Weird Al new metal record, because you'll enjoy it better that way. And with that, it's a 6 out of 10. Because, like, giving it less than a 6 deprives it of its enjoyment, but giving it more than a 6 is like me being absurd, because these are just dudes who are good at what they do. DJ Lethal's really good at record scratching. John Otto and Sam Rivers are a great team when they do the funky shit, and there's like 3 or 4 songs on here. They're just funky and goofy, and it's fun. And they team really well, picking the pace together as bassist and drummer. And, again, I've talked enough about Wes and Fred, and they just know what they want, and it's so diversely different that this is sadly, I guess, the best culmination. Like when you love Public Enemy and The Who, and someone else loves Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and Aphex Twin, this is as close as you can fucking get. And that's the thing. And that's Limp Bizkit, and they still suck. Thanks. And I'm JD, and hope you enjoy it, because this is just a record to enjoy and nothing else. The the riffs are made up, and the points don't matter.